the refutation I will be responding to is illegal immigrants have an overall positive impact on the United States. So her first claim is undocumented immigrants are beneficial to society. Second, undocumented immigrants are beneficial to the economy. And third, undocumented immigrants often take the jobs that Americans don't want. My response claim is that illegal immigrants have only caused the U.S. more damage than they already have. My first claim is that immigrants are not beneficial to society. She provides evidence in which says that undocumented immigrants provide labor for American employers, although they are still overnumbered by the U.S. citizens, and that undocumented immigrants are less likely to commit crimes. From the same article that she pointed, Julia Preston from New York Times says many American workers struggle to recover from the recession, but they said they feel squeezed out of by immigrants, in which she then quotes that Donald Trump said that immigrants only compete directly against vulnerable American workers. For the second evidence, she said immigrants don't commit crimes, in which they don't, but they are more likely to be committed for drug use, in which the evidence of, according to Richard Opel, the drop in drug prosecution was not because of flow of drugs slow. While Customs and Border Protection seizure of marijuana and cocaine have declined, the agency seized more heroin than fentanyl and methamphetamine over the past fiscal year than it did in 2017. For your second claim, immigrants take advantage of the American economy. She states that immigrants tend to pay taxes and use American goods, in which in response I say that immigrants actually take more advantage of the benefits that the U.S. government gives them. One of my evidence is that Tara Watson states many unauthorized immigrants have dependent children or a spouse who are citizens and who may qualify for public benefits. There have been some cases in which immigrants marry U.S. citizens for money, in which they later come and get their citizenship, and then later to divorce and stay in the U.S. For the third claim, she states that undocumented immigrants often take the jobs that Americans don't want, in which she provides evidence that they use hard labor and intense work jobs for many hours, in which I believe that undocumented immigrants are not forced to take those jobs, in which they don't have to do it. And then I provided evidence from Mitchell Chen, immigrant workers and fast food workers across the country are saying no to exploiting in their workplaces and Trump attacked from the White House. So illegal immigrants who take the jobs that Americans don't want is not really the U.S. problem, because they're not forced to. And the only thing they're causing is just forming strikes and protests against the U.S. government. For my last evidence, by Brian Alexander, there were some cases that protesters shouted at Florida Secretary of State Pamela Bondi at a movie theater when she was coming out of a Mexican restaurant with some of her fellow workers from the public office. This has only shown that immigrants are protesting by intimidating the workers of public office and for not receiving what they deserve, in which there are many ways that they can do that. Thank you.
Well, the signposting is pretty clear at the beginning, and you do give us labels as you get to each of those individual points. Some of the arguments that you present, though, are not particularly clear. On the first point, I think that you do a pretty good job talking about how there is competition between immigrant labor and people who are underprepared or in the different job market, and there is potential competition there. And then there's an argument about drugs, which I didn't understand what the whole point of that argument was, how it was related to the position that the advocate took and how that point answered this. It was a little bit confusing. I guess it has something to do with border enforcement, but it was not very clearly explained how it affects my judgment about whether or not there is an impact on employment in this particular situation. On the impact on the economy, you've got a counterexample suggesting that they utilize resources, but there's no quantification on this, and I think that that makes it a little bit problematic. There is a reason to believe that there is some utilization of resources for non-documented immigrants, and that's going to cost something, but we don't know how much that is and whether or not it's significant enough to overwhelm the potential advantages that the advocate talks about. They talked about taxes, for instance, and stimulating the environment because they're buying American goods, and you don't really have any answer to those particular points. You just got the counterclaim, and we don't have any grounds on the counterclaim to measure it and compare it with. And then the third point, I don't understand the position that you're taking here at all. Your argument seems to be that they're not forced to take those jobs, and I don't think that the advocate was suggesting that they were being forced to take those jobs. The advocate was basically arguing that if we didn't have those immigrants, those jobs would go unfilled. So why your argument responds to this point is not clear to me at all. It was a little bit confusing. You do have a secondary issue here that suggests that there is potential disruption from people who are undocumented workers to the political process, and that's kind of a disadvantage type argument here. And I think there's also a bit of a value claim being presented here, but I'm not sure that it addresses the issue of the economy. All right, thank you.